Hello everyone. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Patara Pitopulu. I am a freelancer, VFX artist from Indonesia. Most of the time, I do VFX for movie, TV series, and TV commercial, etc. So enough about me. Today, we are going to talk about creating IKFK blending in APEX with Houdini 20. This is the first of my tutorial series that will be focusing on creating rig inside Houdini using APEX. APEX is a new feature in Houdini 20, currently still in beta state. So there will be many updates in the future and names might change rapidly. So let's start. First, let's create a geometry and dive inside. And then create a skeleton node for the joints. We will create a simple example with 3 joints. Let's rename them with a more appropriate names. We also need to create a second skeleton for just a holder for the abstract control. Let's rename them. We also need to copy of the original skeleton for blending between IK and FK. We merge them. Okay, so now let's reparent them and pack them. Remember to set the name to base and the type to scale. And then we need to create an auto rig component for the FK component of the rig. Set the type to FK transform. and then go to Controls tab. Let's promote Pole and IK handle translation. And promote rotation for all the joints with FK on their suffix. Okay, so for the IK component, we are going to need to create another auto-rig component. Set the type to smooth IK. Change the guide source to base.scale. Go to Settings tab, turn on Smooth IK, Stretch, and Mirror, as we don't need it for this tutorial yet. Change the naming for root, mid, and tip to join underscore 0 underscore IK. And join underscore 1 underscore IK and join underscore 2 underscore IK. And then go to Controls tab. Change the vector pole name to pole. And the IK handle name to IK handle. This name corresponds with the name that we specify in the auto-rig component of the FK ones. And the name we set up on the driven correspond with the skeleton we modified earlier. So basically we are going to blend the local transform from the FK joints when the values are 0 and the IK joint is reached when the values are set to 1. So now we create an unpack folder. We will only unpack the rig component. So now we create an APEX edit graph node. Unpack folder again. Create a scene animate node so we can test this. Also, we need to create an APEX configure control just in case we want to modify the control later. Lock the view to the edit graph so we can edit and observe the APEX graph. Create an abstract control node for the blend value. Connect the transform of the IKFK blend node to the XForm input of the abstract control node. Let's promote the X value of the abstract control. It's not updating. Let me check a moment. Ah, I forgot to override the rig component with the edited ones. So let's do this real quick. Set the name to base and the type to rig. So you can see the star shape control attached on the IKFK blend joint that we created. Okay, let me rearrange the graph a little bit so that it's easier to make the connection between the apex node. Let's create three transform slurp and connect the X output component to the bias input of the slurp nodes we just created. All three of them. And connect the local transform output of joint 0 FK to input A of the first slurp node. And the local transform output of joint 0 IK to input B of the first slurp node. Do the same with the other two slurp nodes. And then connect the first slurp output to the joint 0 rest local input. Do the same with the rest of the slurp nodes. Okay, let's test this. Let's move the IK handle. Let's rotate the joint 0 FK. And if you click and drag the abstract control, we can see the joint is blending from the FK joints to the IK joints. It overshoot because the range of the abstract controls is unclamped. By default, it is maxed to 10. So let's clamp the abstract control output value. Let's create a clamp node. Set min to 0 and max to 1. And connect the output of the clamp node to the bias input of the 3 slurp nodes. Okay, so now we test. And it's working now. Thanks for watching.